Hello, welcome to a new video. In today's video, we're going to take a look at the best Retro Cup team based on ChatGPT. And honestly, this is something that I kind of want to do more often in the future. You're very likely going to see a little bit more AI content on this channel for the foreseeable future, where I am not going to do like AI generated videos or anything like this what's on YouTube. That doesn't make any sense at all, of course. But where I'm going to use ChatGPT and maybe other AIs as well to do some funny stuff in the Go Battle League. And here's the going to see as well already. We're going to have a team that's generated from ChatGPT. And you know, of course, if you are following this channel already, there's been a series that I did, especially like I think like when first ChatGPT came around like 2 years ago or something like this. I started the series where other people even copied it afterwards, but I'm not going to talk about this one. But yeah, basically, we started doing the series already really early on, and then someday I decided to stop it. And the main reason for this was ChatGPT is based on data from 2022 a lot of times, and that means that you don't have accurate readings all the time for something like Pokemon Go PvP, which then made some of the teams a bit of, not as ideal to use anymore and kind of more backdated from whatever season was the last time where the data got updated. But the thing is here, I can put my own data in. I can just make a ChatGPT with the data for the current cup, and that is exactly what I did today. So you see Pokemon like Rage Fist, Karate Chop, Primeape here, for example. And that is quite hilarious, I feel like. That's really cool that we can actually finally use ChatGPT to its fullest potential. And this is something that I kind of want to do as well for the future, for example. What I could do, for example, as well for videos, which I might do, is let ChatGPT analyze a meta. Like if we have a new cup, something like this around, like even Great League meta going to change from the new season, I could give ChatGPT all the data that it needs and let it analyze potential good cores, potential good teams, just to see what an AI would do with the current meta that we have. And at least I'm very interested in this kind of topic and try to see on how we can get some usage out of it. Well, we're going to encounter Macago here. And today's team is a bit weird. It is a bit weird for sure. It is a team with Trevenant in the lead. We're going to have the Auroras as a say-swap, a Pokemon that has 2 double weaknesses, which, to be fair, never really mattered, because I don't actually think you really want to have a say-swap on this team. I really think you just kind of want to usually play out the lead matchup unless you kind of really have to swap out, which for example was here the case because we had the fire type against our grass type Pokemon. But what I have to say is, spoiler alert, I went positive with this team. I did 2 sets here, you see every single battle, and we are above 3000 ELO range. And this is, again, like a team that got generated by an AI, which seems a bit weird in the beginning because like Pokemon like Trevenant or Shadow Claw, which was what basically ChatGPT suggested here, is not something that you see all the time. And we don't have the correct Primeape in there just because I didn't want to use any charge TMs to get the cost combat instead of the Ice Punch. That's the main reason for it. I would have a normal one built. They just suggested the normal variant of it. But yeah, basically this worked out way better than I expected, and I was very happy with it. So I want to maybe expand on this for the future as well. But yeah, main reason why I stopped the series was because the data wasn't accurate and wasn't from the day basically where like for the current season, for example, was like from like based on like season 2 or 3 of PvP. And now this all changed a little bit because I can put the data in that is necessary. I can even expand the meta, like the data that I use a little bit more as well in the future, if those series get a little bit more recognition as well. So yeah, if you want to see a little bit more AA stuff, if you have some own ideas as well what I could do with this kind of technology, then let me know down in the description, comment section, of course. I would really like to see your ideas towards it, but again, like this is most likely going to be like a weekly thing where I have like one video towards it. Don't think that my entire channel is going to take over by it. That's completely silly, of course. But yeah, definitely enjoy this kind of content here quite a bit. I think it's a fun way of playing Go Battle League. And as we will see here, the next opponent is sadly going to be able to win the battle against us because they have quite a decent counter team. And speaking of quite a decent counter team, we're going to now dive into on how to play this team. For example, here, we're going to have a horrible lead. But if you're going to see as well, we have actually quite a lot of weaknesses that are common with our Trevenant as well as our Primeape. But Primeape plus Auroras is a great core that has a lot of weaknesses that they can cover up for each other. And this is the main way of me playing this team, basically. I was utilizing that Trevenant actually has a very, very decent zero shield matchups in the current meta, and that Primeape and Aurorus was a great core together. And we will see here today, for sure, quite a lot of interesting battles. Actually, I have no idea why the opponent went to the Clouds. Like, don't even ask me. I guess because I wanted to avoid the ice type damage there, but like at the end of the day, like if you go into your Talonflame here, you can just farm me down like 2 Incinerates. Like I'm double debuffed, I'm squishy, Poison Sting is not gonna sting me, and yeah, we're gonna be in a great spot here against the opponent. But as you all see as well, we're gonna see the swap out into the Talonflame. I can get the knockout here with nice Icy Wind. I want to say it's the Weather Ball Ice, and we will see again another Weather Ball coming through. A cool one for one extra fast move here that was definitely wasteful in terms of energy management, but we're going to be able to now just go for the next Weather Ball, knock them out while still having 2 shields, and that's going to be a good game. And again, I went positive with this team, which is ridiculous because it just seems very, very silly. Like, the only Pokemon that I would consider meta for this team here is gonna be the Primeape, but still, like, this team worked out. Like, this team worked out really, really well. And I don't think I had, like, great matchups with this team, which is kind of hilarious as well, because this team has just, like, its own way of playing, which I always kind of like. And as we will see here as well, we're going to see a Jumpluff against an Elite, and again, we're just going to be able to stay in. And again, we're going to have the double weakness of flying here, for example, on our Elite as well as our Primeape. But what this means is we can now swap out into our Aurorus, maybe use a shield here just to be a bit safe. Sadly, it's going to be an Aerial Ace, I remember this battle, but it's going to help us out quite a bit. Sadly here, we're going to have the Medicham in the back. I should have maybe swapped out a little bit earlier. That was most likely a mistake by me, for sure a mistake by me. But again, like, actually, if you think about it, if you don't get hardwalled here completely from the opponent, which we just were getting hardwalled, which is just something that can happen, can be completely the other way around. I saw a lot of Medicham leads so far in this meta, not so many in the back. I made a video about Medicham in the back before, though. But basically, if the opponent had just the order swapped around, we would have hardwalled the opponent. We have Trevenant for Medicham. This team is not weak to Medicham. This team, though, is maybe a bit weak to the next opponent Pokemon here, which is the Feraligatr. At this point, we actually were able to hit the hard-hitting move against them with 2 shields. It doesn't really matter because it did knock them out, and they're gonna knock me out. But yeah, we only really have the Primeape to deal with the Feraligatr, which can be a bit tricky. And now we can talk about the kind of more obvious issue for this team, which would be for a Shadow Claw variant of Trevenant to encounter Dunsparce. And you might think, okay, that's going to be a horrible matchup. You have no way of really playing this one out. That's what you may think, but it's actually not the case. This matchup is kind of, funnily enough, very solid in the zero shield scenario. Look, we got them into the deep red health, and the thing is as well, they're gonna go for a charge move now. They have a little bit of energy stored, but do they have enough stored to actually get to another drill run against us? We will never find out because I swap out into the Goodra. I'm going to be able to get a guaranteed shield here or the KO against the opponent with a close combat, which is also lovely. And we can swap out now into the Aurorus. Yes, we're going to be weak to the Awkward here. Yes, we're going to have you use a shield here, but I'm still going to be kind of happy about the situation that we're currently in, because as we will see, we have a lot of play still in this matchup. We have the Icy Wind. I always say, like, a Weather Ball is just such an awkward move for me. I always have it, like, wrong on the right side. I always say it wrong. I don't know what's wrong with Weather Ball and me, but as we will see, we're gonna have the knockout now against the opponent's Goodra. We have a little bit of an energy advantage, and we will see what they're going to have in the back, which is going to be again that, oh, that's Superior, and they make a huge mistake here. As we will see, we can go for a big close combat, which is great, but their mistake is they didn't try to go for the full farm down. Full farm down was their only way of having a chance of winning this battle. Like this, it's game over already, because they can fully farm them down perfectly to get to a Weather Ball, win the CMP against the opponent, and we can say see you later to that Dunsparce. We will win this battle. And that's what I mean here basically as well. Like, there are so many, like, we basically lost every single lead so far, and basically the worst possible Pokemons even here, because we have like only kind of Pokemon that beat both our lead as well as our Pokemon in the back, and that is quite ridiculous to be fair and quite rare. But we are always kind of able to still come back from those. So, Talonflame here, we were able to get the shield advantage already, which is kind of great. We're going to be able to have perfect alignment here as well, as we will take the Fly onto our Rock-type Pokemon. They sadly swap onto the Annihilate, and again, that's going to be a bit of an issue. Like, if the opponent hardwalls your lead and your Pokemon in the back, and then have still another Pokemon that is completely problematic for you to deal with, it is a bit tricky. Here, this is one of the matchups where definitely the normal Primeape would have a bit of an easier time, as you have a little bit more bulk, which helps you out in those matchups, because you still would have knocked them out here with the Rage Fist, but now you would have a little bit more bulk still left, and it's a bit of an awkward one. Now in comes here the Charger Bug. I'm very likely should have went for the close combat, which would have done way more damage, but yeah, I decided to just go for the safe play, and this was most likely a little bit of a mistake here, as I expect the opponent to swap out into their Talonflame. They didn't, and I tried my best to get to another move here, but the opponent's still going to be able to get the knockout. And honestly, that was just unfortunate. Was just an unfortunate matchup. We kind of got hardballed the entire way through, but we still kind of came close, which I kind of like as well. Like, literally, I have not seen a good lead so far for me, so yeah, we're going to see them ulting in the lead now. And this is a bit tricky, because you have to predict, do they run Thunderbolt, do they run Ice Beam? And as the opponent decides to stay in here for a little bit, I expect them to run the Ice Beam, and so I decide to swap out here. Again, what ChatGPT said, Auroras is our safe swap. I'm not too sure if this is going to be the best safe-swap, but as we will see, they decided to go ahead and go for the Ice Beam, which is great for me, because guess what? We're going to be able to resist that move. And Body Slam is coming through, going to be resisted. Yes, the opponent has super effective fast move pressure, but I still think we have a decent shot here. Weather Ball is going to be able to connect, and we will see the opponent going for another charge move here. It's going to be resisted. It's going to be the resisted Body Slam, and it's going to be a very close matchup, and I make a mistake here. I should have went for a charge move. I just should have went for a charge move. I have to use the shield now, but it was not worth it. It was not worth the risk here. We have the fire type of Typhlosion coming in, and that is not what I wanted to see. And I panicked and swapped into the wrong Pokemon as well with that one. And that is kind of game over at this point. Like, there is not really a lot that I can do about it. It was just kind of unfortunate, I have to say. I should have went for the CMP tie here instead of going straight for the Rage Fist. I could have went for one extra fast move and then went for the CMP tie, because I won the CMP tie. But I have to be really careful now. Of course, they can just go for the Thunder Punch, and Thunder Punch is going to be able to knock us out because we are so squishy. And yeah, that's going to be a good game. So we are only going to have now, Weather Ball coming through. We have to hope that this is going to KO them. Maybe then we have still some chance if there's something in the back that's going to be super weak. But sadly, it doesn't. And actually, fairly certain if I would have been able to knock them out there and they had a Talonflame in the back, I still would have been able to get to the move, and this would have been kind of funny. But you know what's also kind of funny? Zai got 50%, and I'm kind of sad. I'm very, very sad about it, because I built my 10% form for the Great League, but not my 50% form. Like, 50% actually has a bit of play. Like, Zai got 50% is not a joke for the Great League. It is not great for the Great League, but it's not a joke. Like, it still has some potential. Interesting typing, just basically sadly Flygon and worse. But as I get 50%, I'm actually going to take a look at it real quick on the side as well for the Great League. Still Dragon Tail, Crunch, Earthquake, 1974 overall ranking in terms of like the what's called bulk points there basically. I actually didn't know, by the way, that Auroras do the CMP tie against the Charterbuck. I was very surprised about it. But yeah, I got 50% form is spice, is fun, but it's not like horrible. Like, it's definitely a Pokemon that has a lot of use as well, which is kind of hilarious. Anyway, you want to see here that the opponent is going to be able to have a little bit of lag on their side. I don't really like the lag, but you know what I like is a Rage Fist Primeape. And I saw some people like talking about me saying, oh, Rage Fist was like gonna get like nerfed in the future or something like this. And we're like confused about it. This is the main reason why. If you get into a position where the opponent doesn't have fast move pressure, then it's game over. It's game over. If you're in this position, it's game over for the opponent. Like, what are they supposed to do here? I could have even overfarmed a little bit before, but like, this is a fight against a poison type Pokemon, and we were able to just outspam them with a non-step move that boosts our attack to +3. We can knock out the opponent's Zygarde. We're going to be able to do a ton of damage against the opponent's Charjabug. And at this point, we're also going to be able to still go for the Seed Bomb and knock out the opponent. And like, this is the main reason why I was talking about why Rage Fist maybe is a bit too overpowered. And sure, like, yeah, Rage Fist is still gonna hold back by the non-existing bulk of Primeape, but I'm still fairly certain that, yeah, Primeape is gonna be a bit of a Pokemon that is, I don't know, it's the same with Morpeko. I hope that they don't nerf Morpeko, because I love Morpeko, because it's like such a unique kind of idea for a Pokemon. I feel like it's just like so much fun to play this thing. The issue with Morpeko as well, which I kind of feel like it's the same for Primeape, you just have very squishy Pokemon that do a lot of damage very, very fast, and the issue with us is you're kind of gonna be forced to run Pokemon that have a lot of fast move pressure in order to deal with them, because you cannot deal with them with the bulk reason, because you just not going to be able to fight back against Pokemon that boost their own attack the entire time. And so you kind of have to fight back by doing something like charm damage. Both of them are weak to charm. And that's something that I just don't really enjoy in terms of how to counter them. But I still think it's, of course, better to have Pokemon like Primeape and the Morpeko. I just like to have like those squishier Pokemon. They're fun to be played. And I don't think like it needs a nerf, like neither like Morpeko or the Rage Fist directly needs a nerf. I feel like they're like Mud Slap, for example, would be more something that I would like to see a nerf of, but it's still definitely very, very strong moves / Pokemon. And as you're gonna see here, +1 close combat from a Primeape, just one shots Oranguru, and it's going to be a good game. As we're gonna see here, I went 4-1 with this team, like from ChatGPT. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to leave a like, and I will see you then. Bye bye.